This is Gateworld, that looks painful, and this is Stargate SG-1 Season 3 in about 10 minutes. As always, watch out for spoilers for this season. We won't be going into detail on every single episode, but we will cover all the major story points you need to know. Let's recap.
Shall we embark? By all means, to hell with us.
In the cliffhanger for Season 2, Hathor has captured Jack, Sam, and Daniel and is threatening to put a goa'uld symbiote in one of them. Jack is the creature's chosen host, but there's a Tok'ra secretly working inside Hathor's ranks. Dr. Raleigh sticks the kernel into the freezer to kill off the symbiote before the blending is complete. Meanwhile, Teal'c and Bra'tac are unable to spark a rebellion on Chulak, but General Hammond shows up ready and willing to help get SG-1 back. They take Bra'tac's old gate ship through the Chapa Eye to Hathor's planet, while Colonel Makepeace and SG-3 extract their people on the ground. Hathor is killed, and Jack buys a little time for the cavalry to arrive through the Stargate.
You heard me! I said Kree!
Sam's Tok'ra dad shows up with intel that a goa'uld has been hiding out on Earth for thousands of years, and today he's going by the name Seth, a cult leader whose followers are holed up in a compound near Seattle. The Asgard prove themselves friends to Earth when Thor shows up to mediate a peace treaty with the System Lords, who send representatives to Earth for tense negotiations. They require that Earth give up its Stargate in order to secure the treaty. But Cronus is attacked by an invisible assailant and left near death. Teal'c is pretty happy about it, seeing as Cronus murdered his father. But Nirti is the real culprit, and after she fakes trying to heal him, Sam, newly promoted to Major Carter, saves Cronus' life and leads the charge in capturing Nirti, who has been running around the base with a personal cloaking device. The System Lords agree to let Earth keep their gate and promise not to attack. The ghost of Machello is back with some brainworms, technology he left behind to fight the goa'uld. One gets inside Daniel, and he goes a little nuts. Earth gets Naquadah reactor technology from the Orbanians, though Jack almost ruins our new alliance by trying to save young Marin from having her brain nanites harvested to help her people. And doubles of Samantha Carter and Major Kowalski come through the quantum mirror after Apophis invades their Earth. The visitors from a parallel universe are granted asylum as Alt Sam grapples with the loss of her world and her husband, Jack O'Neill, until she begins suffering from entropic cascade failure, tearing her apart on a cellular level. The two have to go back to their own universe, but there will be no more parallel universe shenanigans after this. General Hammond orders the mirror destroyed after SG-1 travels to their universe to help them call the Asgard.
Oh, come on, you gotta love those guys!
SG-1 is captured by a bounty hunter who is looking to sell them to Sokar. Then SG-1 is captured by a medieval village canon who is looking to hand them over to Sokar. Sokar is kind of a big deal. We'll come back to him. Then they find a training camp left behind by the definitely very dead Apophis, and only briefly get captured. But the team manages to convince these young men that Apophis is definitely very dead. Meanwhile, his queen, Amunet, is on the hunt for her stolen child. She takes a bunch of Abadonians captive, and when SG-1 arrives, she uses her hand device to get Daniel in a death grip. Teal'c has to shoot and kill her and her host, Daniel's wife Sha're, in order to save his life. But before she dies, Sha're sends Daniel a message through the beam's low-level telepathic connection. He must find and protect her child. As the human offspring of two goa'uld hosts, he is a Harcesis, a human who possesses the enemy's genetic knowledge. The Vians recently suffered a catastrophe that wiped everyone's memory, and all the old people are gone. It turns out the Vians lost their memory from an experiment with an anti-aging drug. They were all de-aged, along with the mad scientist who did it. Kira is Linnea, the destroyer of worlds, who SG-1 let out of an alien prison last year. But Kira doesn't want to be that anymore, and she agrees to take the drug and forget again. Martouf arrives to inform the team that Sam's dad, Jacob Carter, has been captured by Sokar and sent to Hell, the prison moon of Natu. Together they will infiltrate the prison to rescue him, or at least retrieve vital intelligence about Sokar's plans to move against the System Lords. En route, Sam uses a memory recall device to access the memories of Jolinar, the Tok'ra operative she was briefly host to, and the only person ever to escape from Natu. The team finds Jacob and meets the grotesque warden of the prison, Bynnar, along with his first prime, the mysterious figure Neonak. Sam realizes that Jolinar had slept with Bynnar and won his trust, ultimately escaping with transport rings hidden in his quarters. But their effort to escape the same way fails when Neonak shoots Bynnar dead and reveals his true identity. Apophis. Sokar resurrected him with a sarcophagus, and now the disgraced former System Lord is looking for an angle to get out of purgatory. Teal'c escapes Sokar's forces and goes to the Tok'ra for help. They send Alduin with a bomb to blow up the moon and eliminate Sokar's massive fleet, even if it means sacrificing their people. But Teal'c isn't having it. He wants to rescue the team. Apophis uses a hallucinogen to try and squeeze some valuable intel out of Sam, Jack, Daniel, and Martouf. But Martouf tricks him, and when Apophis gives his captor bad information, he seals his own fate. Until Apophis fights his way out. The moon explodes, SG-1 and the Tok'ra escape by the skin of their teeth, and Sokar is killed. But look who managed to survive. Apophis made it to the nearby planet of Delmak, where he's poised to seize control of Sokar's domain. An alien race uses mimic technology to impersonate SGC personnel, and they've already replaced Hammond and Dr. Fraser and taken over the base when SG-1 returns from a mission. Only Sam is able to escape and barely convinces Mayborn of the truth in time to stop them. But a much more friendly alien takeover happens when the team is implanted with Ergo, an alien AI who is meant to quietly survey the planet Earth through SG-1's eyes, but Ergo just can't keep his mouth shut.
I'm gonna be quiet like a little tiny mouse, not a peep. Watch. Ooh, I got an idea.
After Sha're's fate ended in tragedy, SG-1 learns that her brother, Skaara, has crash-landed on the new Tolan homeworld. Nareem invites SG-1 to the planet, where the advanced human society has used their technology to suppress the goa'uld symbiote Chlorel within the young Abydonian. Blue means Skaara, red means Chlorel is in control. Jack and Daniel will argue their friend's case in Triad, while this exceptionally stylish goa'uld argues for Chlorel. The deciding vote comes from the neutral mediator, Laya of the Nox, who decides Skaara has priority over his body. The symbiote is removed, and Skaara is saved. A brilliant meteor shower over the planet Edora portends a disaster that devastates the small agrarian community. SG-1 tries to evacuate the Edorans until the danger has passed, but many of them don't want to leave their home. A meteor strikes the gate directly during the evacuation, burying it and leaving Jack stranded on the planet. While a frustrated Sam works up a genius plan to get through a buried Stargate, Jack spends months on the planet, falling in love, and slowly getting used to the idea that he may never go home. That makes his rescue all the more exhilarating, and the goodbye with Lara bittersweet. Increasingly frustrated by the smug Tolan and their refusal to share their stuff, Colonel O'Neill steals some of their technology, and when he's found out, is forced to retire. It drives a wedge between Jack and the people who thought they were his friends, and then an isolated O'Neill is recruited by Harry Mayborn into his secret Black Ops operation. Colonel Mayborn is the mastermind behind a rogue operation that used the second gate last year to steal from other planets. Jack agrees to lead the off-world criminal base, but after he learns who the rogues are using as a mole inside Stargate Command, he exposes their operation, hands over their location to the Asgard, and returns home to have them all arrested. Jack was faking going bad this whole time to expose the rogue operation and save Earth's alliances with the Tolan and the Asgard. On another mission, Daniel looks into a crystal skull and, poof, vanishes, out of phase with the material world. Why he doesn't fall through the floor we'll leave to this guy to explain. The search for Sha're's child has hit a dead end until Braytak shows up with information that leads SG-1 to the location of the mythical planet Keb. There they find a tranquil Buddhist monastery and a monk who isn't very forthcoming, but he does show Daniel how to control fire with his mind. As the team prepares to throw down with Apophis' army, Daniel finally realizes what the monk And Oma Dasala, the powerful being behind the curtain, has really been trying to teach him. She has the real power, not him, and the baby is going to be safer with Oma and her kind. Season 3's finale is a doozy, the introduction of a brand new enemy in the Replicators. These are nasty technobugs that have infested Thor's ship with one objective: self-replication. Not only are they consuming the ship to make more of themselves, but they're also smart enough to access the ship's computer, discover the location of Earth, and plot a course there in hopes of landing the ship and infesting a new resource-rich galaxy. Nemesis begins with Colonel O'Neill being beamed up to the ship, where he finds a wounded Thor as the sole survivor. Jack radios the SGC to request supplies that will help him blow up the Beliskner, knowing that this time saving Earth will be a suicide mission. But instead, he gets Sam and Teal'c — Daniel is down after having his appendix out — who beam aboard with a plan. Of course, the Replicators complicate that plan, and things go from bad to worse. Teal'c has to go outside the ship to plant an explosive on the deceleration drive.
One small step for Jafar.
And nearly dies when his oxygen tank is compromised. In the end, there's no way to beam off, the ship is crashing into the atmosphere, and Replicators are swarming everywhere. SG-1 escapes by yoinking Earth's Stargate, dialing out manually, and blowing up the ship. Earth's Stargate is gone. Thor is near death, and the team is stranded off-world, but at least the Replicators have been defeated. At least every single one of those pesky little "oh sh*" You've got to see what happens when the Replicators reach Earth, and how do Jack, Sam, and Teal'c get back? Hang on right there for the next video in the series. Look for full episode guides with analysis, behind-the-scenes production secrets, and more on our website at gateworld.net.